Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's no longer about the NFL season is coming. It's no longer about, oh, we're almost there. We are now balls deep into the 2025 NFL season as the first real preseason games are among us. And even further, we are now in a real draft tonight. Okay, so this draft is not a mock draft that you're going to watch tonight. It's a real draft with members of our community, those people who are either a promo code LAND annual Mother Flocker member or they are a 2025 season pass member. We're going to jump into the draft. I'm so glad you're here with me. We're going to talk about some preseason action. Scheduled tweet. Anthony Richardson is injured. Yes, this is just a daily scheduled tweet at this point. But I do appreciate y'all for being here with me. Do me a favor, smash that like button to show some love. You can see on the top of your screen, we have eclipsed 48. Ladies and gentlemen, we are less than 2,000 subscribers away from 50K. I think we can get there before the season, which is just bonkers. So I appreciate you. I appreciate the love. I appreciate the support. But I also got to let you know that the absolute best deal the fantasy industry has ever seen is already out and it's available on the Flock Fantasy website. Use the promo code LAND to get your 2025 season pass. That will drop the price down to $34. And then I will be answering your fantasy questions throughout the season. You're going to get 4 vouchers to come on stream and ask me any question throughout the season. You've got unlimited access to the Flock Fantasy website. You've got unlimited access to my draft guide, which, by the way, Badaki right now is working on version 2. That's why he's not on the stream with us right now, because he's working on version 2, and version 2 is going to be so much better than version 1. I cannot wait to release it for you guys in a couple of days. Not only do you get my draft guide, you get everybody's draft guide on the site. You get in-season weekly rankings, rest of season rankings, and, of course, dynasty rankings as well. Complete access to the site, all access to tools. And then, again, next week, we're going to be doing some more drafts. Badaki and I will be in Austin together, by the way, for these ones. But we'll be doing some more drafts next week with you guys, with our live community leagues, so you can also enter those live leagues. But we do have a real draft to talk about today. This is the Chi-Town League. Shout out to everybody in the Chi-Town League. I appreciate y'all for being here with me. Now, we do need to do the 100-yard dash because we do not have a draft order. This is all, kind of maximize chaos. These people have no idea where they're drafting, but it is a real league. They've already put their league safe in. The prize pot is already up for grabs. These guys are all members with us with the promo code LAND. So let's go ahead and shout out to the Chi-Town League. We're going to shuffle this, let's say 6 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And now we're going to go ahead and see how the draft order pans out. Now, keep in mind, this is not like you get to pick where you are. Wherever you finish, that is your selection for the Chi-Town League. So here we go. In 3, 2, 1, and we're up and away. And it looks like D Corridor is getting out to an early lead. Can someone tell Commissioner Rowan that the race has begun? Untouchables at the bottom of the screen with a nice little burst, looking like Saquon Barkley off the field. But we've got a little bit of Derrick Henry action at the top of the screen too. Ryan Janoski looks like Derrick Henry with that purple emoji, but he is not running like Derrick Henry. He's running like a 40-year-old Derrick Henry, not a 31-year-old Derrick Henry at this point. Uncle Smoke. The name Uncle might be correct because Uncle is just not keeping up with the field right now. Can someone check on Uncle Smoke at this point? Does he know that, is he putting a cigarette in? Does he know that the race has actually begun? Someone please let him know. Megatron is the first to cross the 50-yard line. Smoke is still just at the 30-yard line, but he's catching Fritz at the back end of the field. Megatron living up to the name like the true Megatron himself. Hey, Detroit, pay the man what he is deserved. Pay Megatron your best wide receiver of all time. Anyway, Uncle Smoke has finally woken up. Maybe had a little hit of that nicotine and started to sweat a little bit. Patty Mag takes a big old lead, and Ryan Janoski maybe pulling back the years on the Derrick Henry comp here. But Patty Mag is just a ridiculously, it's not even close. It is over, ladies and gentlemen. Patty Mag gets first. A little burst from Megatron and Jano. It could be anyone for second here. It could be anyone for second. It's up for grabs. It goes to Megatron. Ryan is right beside him at pick number 3. And now we've got the 4th spot up for grabs. Couple contenders, but Commissioner Rowan, after starting off really weak, it's not about how you start, it's about how you finish, am I right? Untouchables in 5th, then 6th is D Blessed. 7th goes to Mike, who, by the way, Mike risked it all last week, had a chance to be in the Philly League, declined it because he hated Philadelphia, and now he's in the Chi-Town League. In 8th, we also have Uncle Smoke, who, you know, again, once he had that little nicotine, that's all he needed. Mole Rat in 9th, D Corridor in 10th, Gator the Hater in 11th, and Fritz there in 12th. So if our Commish Rowan can go ahead and update that draft order for us, we are going to go ahead and get this draft started here in just a second. But again, I appreciate y'all being here with us. Not a ton has happened. Jamar Chase scored a touchdown. This was the first drive for the Bengals. Yeah, everyone looks like they're firing on all cylinders, but just a friendly reminder, guys, they're facing nobody. It's not like the Eagles are actually playing their defense, but it was great to see. You know, obviously Chase Brown, y'all know I love me some Chase Brown. Jamar Chase was incredible. T. Higgins had some targets. Joe Burrow only missed one pass, and then they went back on the second drive and scored another touchdown. That was to Jamar Chase. We had Keaton Mitchell, who had a nice touchdown today. Will Shipley with a nice, you know, open field opportunity. And then, of course, as we all know, Anthony Richardson goes down with the finger injury. So that's a bit unfortunate. I haven't had a chance to watch if, like, I actually don't even know if Daniel Jones got into the game. So we'll have to find that out as we go. Unfortunately, Texans DB CJ Gardner-Johnson has an ACL tear, so that's unfortunate. But it looks like we are completely full here. So everybody has their right draft slot. Now, this is, I believe, Commish Rowan, let me know if this is incorrect. I believe this is a 1 quarterback start 8 PPR. Let me know if that is incorrect. But I believe that is the format we are going with here. And again, this is a real draft. So let's go ahead and pop this thing off. Rowan, whenever you're ready, hit that start button. Shout out to everybody in the Chi-Town League, and let's have some fun tonight. Talk some ball, get into a real draft. I'm excited watching this because I don't have to think. I just get to react, right? I don't have to think about what I'm going to do. I kind of get to react to see how the board is playing out. Think about the Flock League. So shout out to everybody here who is drafting with us. I'm going to say a big shout out to everybody in the chat. What's up, D Macy? Appreciate you for being here. B-Dub is in the building. Neil, Johnny Boy, Styles. We've got Styles here. What's up, Mike? Lazy Bones, what's good, brother? We are here. What's up, Rowan? Colin in the building. Jordan, Elite Team. Kiendo says, already smashed the like button. And what flag is that? Is that, that's got to be somewhere, it's obviously not the Jamaican flag, but is it one of those countries near that area? My geography is failing me right now. I see y'all in the building. What's up, Albert, Tiny Goose, Fritz? Thanks for joining me, guys. I appreciate y'all for being here with us. Okay, so Jamar Chase is your 101. Then we do get Bijan Robinson off the board in this real draft. Again, I appreciate y'all for being here with us. Be a friend. Smash that like button. If you enjoy watching real drafts, if you want to be a part of some in the future, support the channel and hit the like button. It's the Bahamas. Okay, yeah. That I honestly was like, yeah, it's on the tip of my tongue. Bahamas. Okay. Love to see it. Arnaldo says, how do you join drafts, and is there going to be a New Jersey edition? Yes, there is a Big Apple version. So if you go to our Discord, and I'll actually have Nightbot put a link to our Discord. It's in the description if you're watching this later. You will see a form here for community leagues, and I'll go ahead and put that in there. It'll be the first link in the announcements tab. When you click on that form, it's going to ask you a couple questions. Just going to make sure that you're either an annual member or a season pass member with the promo code LAN, and then you can enter into as many leagues as you want. The Big Apple League is the last one, so that is kind of like the New York League, if you will. That's the Big Apple. So yeah. All right. So CeeDee Lamb goes at the 103. Then Jahmyr Gibbs, Saquon Barkley, and D Blessed is blessed because he gets Justin Jefferson. I love to see it at the 106. What a start for him as Malik Neighbors goes off the board at the 107. What's up, Mr. Trey Saracinco? Commander Burger in the building. What's up, brother? Appreciate you. Thanks for joining. What's up, Daryl? See y'all in the chat showing some love. Cheeky says, does Rashad Slater being out this year give you any concern about Amarion? Look, I think it would be foolish to say that if, you know, one of the best tackles in the NFL goes down with an injury, I would say it would be foolish for me to just say it doesn't matter at all. You know what I mean? I think that would be a bit foolish. So yeah, it does matter. Am I realistically going to move these guys down my rankings? No. They have a pretty good tackle to fill in there. What's his name? Joe Alt. Joe Alt, they can move to left tackle. But yeah, it's certainly not good. Like, anytime you lose one of the best tackles in the NFL, you can't spin this in a way and say, oh no, it's actually okay. It's actually good. But here is a tweet from Rich Herbaugh, by the way. Rich Herbaugh, who does sharpfootballanalysis.com. I've never actually seen this site, but I'm sure it's great. I just saw his tweet, and he tweeted out a lot of moving parts for 2025, but the Chargers ran 159 plays last season with Rashawn off the field. On those plays, 4.8 yards per play, which would rank 27th, about 38% success rate, bottom of the league, last in yards per carry, last in rate of 10-plus yard plays, so explosive plays, and 5% rate of 20-plus yard plays. So, yeah, he had a huge impact last year. But you also have to keep in mind that when something happens in season, you really don't have time to think through how to adjust. There are so many variables on the fly that you kind of have to just roll with the punches. They will have time to think through this about how they're going to replace him. But Joe Alt is more... That was, last year we said elite wide receiver prospects, right? Your Neighbors, your Marvin Harrisons, elite wide receiver prospects. But we also said Joe Alt, elite tackle prospects. So he is going to be a fine fill-in for them, and we'll see what they can do, I'm sure, in free agency if someone's available. Okay, so after Jefferson goes, we have a run of receivers. Neighbors, Puka, Collins, Thomas, Amon-Ra, just straight receiver city at the end of this board, which... I like to say, I like me to start with a receiver. We're not anti that move. And then Fritz is up on the clock here. He's got the back end of the board. It's not awesome being at the back end of the board because you typically, sometimes in our leagues, you're probably not going to have a chance at one of the elite receivers, but you do get to make 2 picks in a row, and you're kind of not, some of these guys I'm sure are hoping on certain names to come back to them, whereas Fritz is going to know exactly what he's going to get here. Appreciate y'all for being here with us. From the Bahamas, I apologize. I got to be better. So is Danny Dimes not looking any better? Is it still the same Daniel Jones? Surprising, right? Daniel Jones has 115 yards passing so far. Is that right? Hell yeah. I love it. So Fritz starts double RB with McCaffrey and Genty. So he's going high testosterone to start this draft. I'm just catching up with some of your comments here. David says, what everyone think about James Cook in redraft, sleeper pick or value faller? I think he's right where he should be priced. I don't understand people who are advocating that he's a fade just based off of touchdown regression. I think that's a silly, obviously we all think that he's going to regress in his touchdowns, but I think that's a silly reason to fade him in the middle of the 4th round, late 4th round. It's not like he's a 2nd or 3rd round pick after scoring 18 touchdowns. So, yeah. But man, that Bengals offense looked nice. By the way, to anyone out there who plays Superflex, I said when we were recording this video, I told my editor, hey, a lot of people are asking for a Superflex video, strategy-wise. I think it's going to flop. I really don't think there's enough people playing Superflex for this video not to flop, but I'm just going to try it. YOLO. And let me tell you, the video flopped. I haven't had a video flop like this in years. So, I'm sorry, Superflex people. I tried my best, but, yeah, that's insane levels of flop. So, if you're out there and you're playing Superflex, obviously go watch the video, but it kind of just what I thought was going to happen. Just not enough people interested in Superflex at this point. Although it is a fun strategy video. It's a fun format to play. But I probably can't put enough time and effort into it anymore. Uncle Fresh has pulled the trigger on trading Jordan Mason and Ray Davis for Fields and Superflex. Hopefully Cook plays so I don't regret the trade. Jordan Mason and Ray Davis for Fields. I think that's pretty even. That's relatively even. Is that Will Shipley out there? Who is... is that A.J. Dillon? Wow. A.J. Dillon is a Philadelphia Eagle. That's right. And he is out there. This has got to be, what, the 3rd team now? Number 29. Wow. Crazy how he just, completely faded away into oblivion after his injury last year. But he is that 3rd-string guy there in the Eagles' backfield. Shout out to AJ, man. Hope he can revive his career. All right, so after Achane comes off the board, we get Irving, Henry, Brown. A lot of people look like they're going the anchor wide receiver double RB strat here. Joshua says Zach just reacted to Dylan like he was an actual endangered eagle. At this point, I think he probably is. Do we use third round reversals for your redrafts? No. But some of the best ball tournaments we're in have it, but not for like our home leagues. No. As Brock Bowers coming off the board there at the 206. Our first tight end off the board, meaning the only position that has not been drafted yet is quarterback. Untouchable says, I'm going to follow up in Fritz's footpath here. As he goes double RB, I'm going to do the same. So he grabs Sean and Joshua Jacobs Jingleheimer Schmidt. It is 3rd and 20. And Tanner McKee is dropping back to pass. We are balls deep into preseason, guys. And A.J. Dillon just got some PPR goodness for, what was it, 7-yard dump-off catch. Yeah. I feel like we're all excited for preseason, and then after the first 3 minutes, we're like, what are we doing? Why are we watching this anymore? So Rowan decides to go Gibbs in the first and AJ in the second. I know a lot of people are betting on an AJ Brown bounce back this year. Not that he even played poorly, but, hoping for him to stay healthy. Hoping AJ Brown to stay healthy isn't that different to hoping like a T. Higgins stays healthy, but it's, we have more evidence of AJ playing an entire year, don't we? Tyler says, my home league decided to try Superflex this year. I enjoyed the video for what it's worth. I appreciate that. Scribble says the Colts preseason game made me want to off myself. You know what, Scribbles? Here's the thing, though. We have to keep this in mind. So you're not a Colts fan and you feel that way. Imagine if you were a Colts fan and you had to watch their preseason game. Like, it could always be worse. You know what I'm saying? It could always be worse. So just, count your blessings every day. No, but I appreciate y'all for being here with me. Got a like goal today of 100 likes. We are about halfway there, which is incredible. So I appreciate y'all for being here. Show some love. Hey, if you're a lurker of the channel, then I'd love for you to be a part of history. Okay? And the history is we're getting close to 50K. We're getting so close. You've been lurking for a while. You want to see more mock drafts. You want to mock draft with me on stream. You want to see more real drafts. Then stop lurking in the shadows. Join the LAN community. Hit the sub button. Let's get to 50K in the next... What? Can we do it in the next, 2 weeks or something? That'd be sick. All right, so after Josh Jacobs comes off the board, like we said, A.J. Brown, and then Ryan goes Ladd McConkey. Man, I'm finding it so difficult. I'm finding it so difficult with Ladd right now. I mean, we had to ask the question yesterday, okay, what does Keenan Allen mean for him? And in my opinion, I don't think Keenan Allen is going to stop a young, ascending superstar in Ladd McConkey. However, now we also have to ask the question, well, what about Rashawn Slater no longer being there as well? So the questions are adding up. But I do love me some Ladd McConkey, and I guess if the run game is going to be compromised, the passing game might open up a little bit more. We'll have to wait and see, but I do think there's enough time for them to really figure it out. You know what I mean? What's up, Zachary Wallace? He says, back on the fantasy wagon. I appreciate you for being here, man. Let's do it together. By the way, Daryl says, I'm a Colts fan, and yes, it feels worse. So, yeah, again, just keep that in mind, guys. It could always be worse. You can always be a Colts fan and watching their preseason games. So, yes. That's true, Landon. Johnny says, what position is the best to draft in the 10 team? I think you can get a great team from anywhere on the board. You know, I've said this for ages. I've won leagues from anywhere on the board. there's not a wrong place to draft. I think what I prefer is putting myself in positions where I end a tier, not start a tier. Does that make sense? So, for example, if I get the 101 and I get Jamar Chase, I'm not going to overthink it. Jamar Chase, you know, I know the 101 is cursed. We've talked about that, but I'm not going to not take Jamar Chase. However, if I can choose up from the 101, from the 102 to the 106, I'm probably going to lean like the 104 or the 105 because I know a strategy I want to pursue. But I don't want to take the first in that tier of that strategy. Does that make sense? And then if I have to draft at the back end of the board, well, I know I don't want the 107 because that's beginning a tier for me, right? So instead of the 107, give me the 109 or the 110. Because then on the comeback, I'm going to be able to probably pursue the strategy I want a little bit better. So, again, whatever your tiers look like, all you guys who are season pass members, you'll know exactly what my tiers look like. You can look at my rankings individually, right? And on the overall, I've got individual tiers for every quarterback. Or you can actually look at my draft guide as well and look at my rankings there. Version 2 is going to be out soon. And again, shout out to everybody who is in this draft, who is a season pass member with us. They're all season pass members. And I know I've said it a lot so far, but get your season pass if you haven't gotten it yet. Best deal in the fantasy industry we've ever seen. $34 for the entire fantasy season. And not only do you get access to my draft guide, to my rankings, you get access to everybody's rankings and draft guides on the site. You get access to all the premium tools, weekly rankings, rest of season rankings. You get vouchers to come ask me questions on live stream, so I'll be helping out with your fantasy team this year. It's the best deal the fantasy industry has seen. It's genuinely not even close. And I'll go ahead and actually make that the pinned comment for y'all. And then you can enter weekly raffles to jump into some drafts with real drafts that matter. Jamar Chase, Trey McBride, Josh Allen start there for Patty Mag. And I like it. And then after that, we've got Bijan, Taylor, Higgins coming off the board. Okay. So, look, I'll offer a little bit of transparency here. I knew that the video I released today was probably going to flop. But I thought maybe, just maybe, we're at a stage in fantasy football where Superflex is big enough to make a video about it. Again, like, that's on me. It flopped. Okay, so that's the reality. I mean, 1,000 views in 6 hours is like the worst video I've posted in like multiple years. However, getting vulnerable with you. Anytime you release a video and it flops, it feels like shit because you spend so much time on it. You put so much effort into it. And our team put so much effort into it. So the reason I'm saying that is because on your guys' Monday, it's either Monday or Sunday of this coming week, I need you to show me some love because my official My Guys video is going to be coming out. Can you do that for me? Can you do that for me? So it's either this Sunday or this Monday, my official My Guys video, my 10 My Guys, guys that I'm staking my reputation on, that video is coming out. So can you do me a favor? Show some love to that video when it comes out. Because I'm hoping that one performs the way it did last year. All right, so Josh Allen at the 301, Higgins at the 302. Then we see Mr. Lamar Jackson, Kyron Williams, Jaden Daniels off the board. And, yeah. I like the start from Rowan. You know, he didn't go wide receiver in round 1, but if A.J. Brown can stay healthy, that's nasty if A.J. can stay healthy. That's right, Connor. My guys for redraft. Joshua says, I'll be honest, guys. I don't think I even got a notification for that video today, Zach. I usually watch your stuff. Yeah, turn your noties on. Appreciate that, Scribbles. Appreciate that, Sam. Johnny says, I'll send my team to you when we draft or when you guys live stream. Yeah, if you guys ever want to, like, look, we probably can't, like, review your team on stream while we're doing other things, but we do have the ability for you guys to get what we call a team playbook. Some of you might not know this on the redraft channel. We do this, like, we've done hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of them in the Dynasty offseason on our Dynasty channel. But we do have a product on the Flock site called the Team Playbook. This is like a customized game plan for your team. We'll tell you, like, what trades to make, what direction to go, players that you shouldn't move, And you can get that by becoming a promo code LAND annual Motherflock. Remember, if you're a Season Pass member, you can upgrade and get the team playbook. And then you submit a team review with Zach and Badaki. But even if you're a member already and, you know, you've already gotten a team playbook, you can still go to the Flock site. I'll show you. And then, like, on the top right, you see the personal advice button. You can still go to team review and get a playbook from Zach and Badaki there. Just team review from Zach and Badaki. And I'm sure we'll be doing a lot of playbooks in season. So if you guys finish your drafts and you want to know, like, our opinion, you want to have, like, a real guide of what we would do if it was our team for your fantasy teams, then get your team playbooks and would absolutely love to have a look at some of your squads. Rowan says, I have AJ in both leagues so far, so he better stay healthy. Connor says, anybody see Richardson get absolutely crushed and leave the game? I saw the sack. The awareness was crazy. Brother had no awareness whatsoever on that sack, but hopefully it's not on his throwing arm. Does anybody know, like, is it his throwing hand or his non-throwing hand? Because that's a big deal. If it's an injury to his throwing hand, that's huge. You might as well lock in Daniel Jones as a starter. But if it's an injury to his other hand, then he could play next week. So, after Daniels went off the board, Jackson, Smith, and Jigba. Man, if D. Bless can figure out some running backs, that wide receiver room is nasty. You know what I'm saying? Like, if he can figure out some running backs here, he could be in there like swimwear. We're on like Donkey Kong. So, Omarion Hampton, with this news of Slater falls. It's funny to say he falls to the 307, but he's typically like an early third-round pick now. Then Uncle Smoke goes out and grabs George Kittle there. Okay, so we're getting reports from Styles, which is that it was the throwing hand for Anthony Richardson. That's not good. Breece Hall falls to the 309. That's a hot start from Mole Rat there. That's a hot start from Mole Rat. Okay, so let's have a look here. No, like, true surprises in this draft so far. The draft we did last week, we saw some crazy surprises. By the way, if you didn't see the injury for Anthony Richardson, I'll let you have a look at it here. This was the injury. Just no awareness whatsoever. My brother just scanning the field, does not sense the pressure whatsoever. And this is what we call just a pancake right there. Right, let's see it. Let's see it play out. Bam! I mean, yeah, his finger got hurt, but someone better check he knows what day it is. Might have to put that man in concussion protocol. That, you know what that was? That right there was playing. He's playing college football 26. His offensive line, that was actually offensive line from college football 26, the game, if you don't know. That wasn't actually real football. That was just a replay from college football 26. What are they doing with the offensive line, man? Like, what in the world? All right, in our second real draft, shout out to the Chi-Town League real money draft with our community members. We have Breece Hall at the 309, then Ken Walker at the 310, Marvin, Adams, Wilson. Look, if you can't get an elite receiver in round one, not a bad start to go out and grab Genty, McCaffrey, and then the Adams-Wilson combo. Things could be worse. Things could be worse. Yes, Nick, this is a real draft. Appreciate y'all for being here with us. Go Pack Go said Collins over St. Brown. I actually have it that way in my rankings personally. I have them in the same tier, so I don't mind if you prefer one over the other. But I don't want to ruin anyone's draft, but I'm a pretty big fanboy of another receiver on that team, so I could see some potential regression. You guys are awesome. I appreciate you for showing some love in the chat. What's up, Adrian? Says, how do we feel about J.J. McCarthy this year? Love J.J. McCarthy, man. Love him. Really excited to see him for first full year. Had an entire season to, learn behind Sam Darnold, to learn the offense, to be with the coach, to just kind of soak everything in organically. And I was a big fan of him coming out. Thought he was worthy of a first-round pick. A lot of people were too focused on the fact that Michigan and the way that their offense ran. And because Michigan was so defense and run heavy, that told people, well, J.J. McCarthy can't be an NFL quarterback. He can't be a successful NFL quarterback because look at what Michigan's situation looked like. I mean, they won the national championship. Did you really want Harbaugh to say, you know what, McCarthy, let's show the NFL what you can do. Just air it out. Let's throw it 50 times a game. Let's run an air raid offense. So I think there's a lot that J.J. McCarthy's game that people didn't give him credit for coming out of Michigan. Specifically his legs, his mobility, his ability to throw on the run. I thought he was one of the better on-the-run throwers in that draft class. So I'm excited to see what he can do. So we do get Tyreek Hill coming off the board here at the 404. Tyreek's one of those names where does anybody else feel this way about Tyreek? I feel like it's either going to be the best pick you make in your entire draft or the worst pick that you can make in your entire draft. At the age of 31, he's either got it still and the injury was a problem last year, or he doesn't have it. You're either drafting the guy who's his best years are behind him, or he's going to win you your league. That's the way I view it, honestly. All right, Chuba Hubbard coming off the board there in the 4th to Uncle Smoke. Johnny says, can we print out your rankings or a cheat sheet or whatever? Yeah, that's actually a really good question. We should upload that today. Is Badaki watching the stream? We should upload that today. We do have a cheat sheet. We did that last year, and a lot of you guys printed it out, and that was what the cheat sheet was intended for. And I want to do that again this year for you guys. But in our draft guide, it currently has a blue background, and I don't want to kill all of your toners when you're printing it off. So I'm having Badaki create us one that has a white background, so it doesn't kill all your toner for your printers, and if you go somewhere. We're gonna do that. In fact, maybe we can do that on stream. Let me see if Badaki is with us. We're gonna figure that out though. But yeah, a lot of you guys loved that last year. I mean, I used my own cheat sheet when drafting in the Flock League, and we built one hell of a team, didn't we? Just got a little bit unlucky in the playoffs, unfortunately. Scored the most points in the Flock League the week after we got kicked out. That's fantasy football for you. We want to come back this year and finish the whole thing off. But yeah, we'll definitely figure that out for you. Let me see. I think I have one. I think I actually have our latest cheat sheet that we're sending out for FastDraft signups. Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna upload this right now. How about that? How about I upload the cheat sheet right now for you guys? I'm gonna do that because honestly it should be on the site. All right, so after okay, so James Cook I think's a nice pick there at the 406. I love me some Henderson, so I can't say this is too early. I love him, but obviously it's earlier than ADP, right? Apologies. This is asking me to sign in, but I don't want that to be on that screen. Then we see RJ Harvey at the 410. And I love Untouchables. I love you. I'm so glad you're a part of our community here. But I've been saying this all offseason. If Aaron Jones is a 4th round pick, I will have no shares. I'm sorry. I will have no shares of Aaron Jones if he's a fourth round pick. It's just not gonna happen for me. There's just too many players I prefer over him. And I'm a big fan of the other guy in that backfield this year as well. So just my opinion. I've been wrong plenty of times. Okay. So it's not like what I'm saying is black and white. All right. Anything can happen at any moment, but I'm sorry. I can't take Aaron Jones as a 4th round pick this year when I'm not even convinced that he's going to beat the other guy in his backfield. So, sorry. I'm sorry. Don't yell at me. We do get Connor and DJ Moore at the 401. I actually don't know what running backs are available on the board, but I thought Patty had a chance there to maybe grab 2 running backs. Let's see how it looks in the 6th and 7th round for him. But like the start, man, to get Connor there, that's not bad at all. That's not bad. All right. I'm going to put this cheat sheet up for you guys. Is that cool? As Pacheco comes off the board here at the 502, I am getting more and more all in on Pacheco pretty much every week. I don't know. Is that just me? I just feel like every week I'm getting more and more in on Isaiah Pacheco. I just don't see anyone in that backfield stopping him from being the guy in a pretty good offense. All right, we're going to post this here. Let's see. We're going to post it as a draft guide. And by the way, just so you guys know, we're not going to be able to put out like my absolute latest rankings yet on this. This is like from like a day ago. Okay, so this is not with like the Rashawn Slater news or something, just because Badaki is working on our other draft guide. But this will be, for the most part, exactly my opinions and my thoughts. But we'll update this as well next week. All right, so after Pacheco comes off the board, we get Scary Terry McLaurin, then Tatalia McMillan. I really like Rowan's team, y'all. I really like the way this team is coming together here. Untouchable's first wide receiver ends up being DK Metcalf. I mean, look, just being fully transparent, I would have taken every player that's been drafted since Aaron Jones over Aaron Jones. I mean, I would really love the way this team looked if it was like a Sutton Metcalf, a McMillan Metcalf, you know. But I mean, who knows? Aaron Jones could be that guy, you know. All right, after Metcalf, we get Rashee Rice. So Henderson is willing, D. Bless is willing to wait and, you know, kind of see how this pans out in Kansas City with Rashee Rice. It's risky, but it could pay off. People always ask, Zach, what do you think? What do you think? Like, how is this going to pan out? I have no idea. And I just feel like if anyone is telling you they do know, I think they're lying to you. I'm just going to be honest with you. So, yeah. I think I'm about to publish this cheat sheet though. Let's see here. Let's see if have we officially done this? Nope. It said error occurred. Let's try again. As Xavier Worthy comes off the board, let me try this on Chrome. Sometimes I know it's gonna sound weird, but I'm a Firefox guy. And the only reason I'm a Firefox guy is because Chrome takes up so much of your RAM with tabs. I just can't have that when I'm streaming. Firefox just barely takes up any. It's just a lot more reasonable in my opinion. All right. This is going to go up here if it lets me post. All right, Devonta Smith comes off the board there at the 508. All right, I think that is officially up there on the flock site. Let me double check for you. Let's see. Is our cheat sheet officially up there? Yes. Okay. All right. I'm proud to announce that we have officially gone ahead and uploaded our cheat sheet. Now, this is similar to our draft guide. It's just a more printable option. With our draft guide, unfortunately, the background is all blue, and it's going to be hard for you to print that out. But the cheat sheet has a white background, so it's going to be a lot easier for you guys to go ahead and print that out. I'll go ahead and put a link in the chat for you if you want. Again, you can get access to my draft guide. Version 2 is coming out soon. To our cheat sheet. This will be updated every week, by the way. The cheat sheet will be updated with the draft guide. And you can get access to that simply by becoming a 2025 season pass member. It's $34 for the entire year. Incredibly affordable. It's about $1.60 per week for the rest of the year. That is ridiculously cheap. Not even $1.60 per day. $1.60 per week. You get access to the entire flock site, including my draft guide, including the cheat sheet, weekly rest of season rankings as well, weekly rankings, vouchers for live streams where you can ask me questions about your fantasy team. I'll be answering your fantasy questions this year, and unlimited access to all the premium tools on the flock site as well. So, again, when you download this, it's going to be much easier to print. I'm not going to I'm not going to show y'all all this for freebie. So, but you see, I apologize. That's the playbook. You see at the bottom here, y'all see that's the white background compared to the blue one on the draft guide. So much easier to print out. And I'm going to print this out as well when I do the Flock League draft here in about a week or so. About a week ago. But we do have Devonta Smith, Joe Burrow coming off the board, as well as Jameson Williams at the 5'10", Roma Dunze at the 5'11", then George Pickens at the 5'12", and Travis Hunter. I got to be honest, I'm starting to fall in love with Fritz's team, man. He's got a lot of my guys, though. Guys that I really love drafting, like the Adams, the Pickens, the Hunters. I do love the Jameson Williams pick there, though. I'm a big Jameson Williams guy. I mean, earlier I said I am not opposed if you want to go Nico over an Amon-Ra. And the reason I feel that way is because I think it's a big, big year for Jameson Williams. But I am also Jameson Williams stan, so sometimes I'm a little bit irrational. So I need to be real and honest with you when I talk about Jameson Williams and just tell you straight up I'm pretty irrational with it. Go Pack Go says, bro, just show us. I mean, brother, you want to spend $34 to support me? Help us continue to do what we do. We can only operate and do what we do, guys, with your support. There's no way we can do what we can do. I can't, do this without your guys' support, so I apologize. But I can't give it to y'all for free on stream and then ask other people to support the show. All right, let me go ahead and make this announcement that this is now available on the Flock site. Give me a second. Let's see here. After we had Travis Hunter, now Calvin Ridley coming off the board there. So, Calvin Ridley coming off the board. Gator the Hater here in this real draft starts with 2 running backs and 4 wide receivers. So, it's going a little bit more wide receiver centric there after the Devon Achane pick. Let me just announce this real quick on the Discord. Sorry. All right. Sorry, I apologize, everyone. Just want to let people know this is available. All right. That is officially announced. All right. I appreciate y'all for being here with me. We had a like goal today of 100. Where are we at right now? Let's have a quick little refresh. 72. So we're almost, what, just 25 likes away almost? So we're getting close there. Caleb Johnson at the 603. Man. I think I have a new favorite team, guys. I think I have a new favorite team of the draft. Corridor out here just slaying giants with this draft. I know he's got to figure out wide receiver a little bit, but man, if I could have this start in the Flock League, I would take it, bro. I would take this start 10 times out of 10. That's hot. That's hot. As TJ Hawkinson comes off the board. Okay. TJ Hawkinson at the 604. Y'all know I'm never afraid to share my mind, but it feels like a reach on Hawk. I love you, Mole Rep, but it feels like a little bit of a reach. I'm sorry. Angel, I can promise you guys that the next version will release next week. My guys, they're not highlighted because the video hasn't come out yet. So keep that in mind. I mentioned that earlier in the stream, but for anyone who wasn't here, my guys video is either going to come out on Sunday or Monday. Okay. And after that, then I can officially highlight my guys on the cheat sheet. All right. I can't give you, that information before it's even announced. And then as far as sleeper fades, we're going to add that in version 2 next week. So don't worry. Rock says he just got the Discord notification. You love to see it. All right. Appreciate y'all for being here with us as Jalen Waddle goes at the 605. I don't think Brian at the 110 is too early. I like it a lot, honestly. I'm a big Brian guy. Yeah, the Cowboys job is confusing, right? Because it looked like Jaden Blue was really, like, the momentum for Jaden Blue was real strong in the last week. But he went down with an ankle injury. That's not good news for a rookie. You want these rookies to be available in camp their first year. There's so much for them to learn. So for him to go down with an injury, it's the same thing with like a Mason Taylor. Like when Mason Taylor sustained that ankle injury, you start to get a little bit less confident in their ability to perform straight away. So we'll have to wait and see, man. We'll have to wait and see how that all pans out. Are you going to be updating rankings as preseason continues? Yes, guys, 100,000%. Okay, so on the Flock site, you'll see the cheat sheet, okay? It's a printout for your draft. You see the cheat sheet. You'll see our draft guide. These are updated weekly, all right? So updated rankings, both positionally in the draft guide and the overall rankings. Version 2 of the draft guide, which will come out early next week, guys, is just so much better. That's why it says version 1, because it's not like we drop our draft guide and then that's it. No, the draft guide is continually improving over the course of the year, right? So the cheat sheet, 100,000% will be updated each and every week for you guys. Do not have to worry about that. And then also, if you have a season pass with promo code LAND, just keep in mind, you can always see my live rankings as they update with, the rankings tab on the Flock site as well. So again, I know I've talked about the season pass a lot, but you guys are asking questions and it kind of just leads me to naturally talking about it. If you want access to all of that, as well as some vouchers, 4 vouchers for live streams where you can ask me questions, I can help you with your fantasy team in season, weekly in-season rankings, unlimited access to the site, all the tools, all the draft guides. You can get that for $34 with the promo code LAND. So yeah, appreciate you guys. Sean says, awesome, just signed up for the season pass. Thank you for the cheat sheet. Of course, man. Appreciate y'all. Thanks for showing love. Like I said earlier, guys, we can't do what we do without your support. If people aren't supporting us, like, just being real, like, we rely on you guys as much as you rely on us. We we can't do this without y'all. So I appreciate the support, and I truly think it's the best deal the fantasy industry has. As Laporta comes off the board there at the 610. I would say my cheat sheet is rankings for PPR and half PPR. Okay. I would say if you're in a league that is standard, as in no PPR, don't use my rankings. I simply put, I don't have no PPR rankings. Okay. I don't have rankings that don't include no PPR. I don't play in any leagues that don't have any PPR. You can use my overall my positional rankings, by the way, on the cheat sheet. Like those aren't going to change too much. They might change slightly, but like overall rankings might not be as helpful. Is fantasy football your full-time job? It is at this point, yeah, which is crazy. We never thought that would be the case, but we started doing this, me and Badaki, when COVID hit. We started doing this for fun, and it just kind of blossomed into this thing naturally. It's not something that we really anticipated. It's very cool. Kalani says, how do I alter your rankings to non-PPR? Guys who are pass catchers, you might want to move down a little bit. Like in a non-PPR, I would not have Achane as high as I do. Okay. In half PPR and full PPR, the rankings aren't going to change much, guys. And if you look at like historically, the average points per game between wide receiver, running back, and half PPR, it's not that different. But like, for example, like Achane, you're going to move down a little bit. You know, names like Derrick Henry. Like Derrick Henry probably goes from my RB like 7 or 8 to like my RB 4 in a non-PPR, right? So you can think about it in that light. But yeah, Jerry Jeudy coming off the board there at the 611. Jacoby Myers at the 612. Then Jordan Mason. I love Jordan Mason, but I'm hoping to God this isn't his price point in the Flock League. My goodness. I mean, I kind of feel like both Jordan Mason and Aaron Jones were taken too high in this draft. Look at me. I'm not even drafting. I'm just talking shit. I'm sorry. Yeah, exactly. If your league is standard, think about the guys who are not like back in the day, like the Nick Chubbs, the Derrick Henrys, even today. Like those guys in a standard league are gonna just be moved up a little bit more in rankings. Even guys like Jameson Williams, you know, T. Higgins, these guys who might not get 100 receptions in a year, but you know they're gonna score some good touchdowns, long touchdowns. So yeah. Shane says, as a Superflex truther, I apologize for all the Neanderthals that refuse to adapt to superior league settings. You guys are funny. Mike loves Firefox. Come on. I knew I loved you, Mike. Akshay says, thoughts on Megatron's team so far? Megatron, you're here. You're about to make another pick. So far, we've got Bijan, Taylor, Pacheco, T. Higgins, Cortland Sutton, Jerry Jeudy. Yeah, I like the team. I might have made a different pick at the 611, but I don't want to influence the draft too much. As Debo comes off the board there at the 712. Did I say J-Mo was a running back? My bad if I said that. What's up, Chatty? Any advice for a 14-man league? I would say honestly, I know my strategy video is doing really well, but I would say the most helpful video I've probably released all offseason is actually the one I released 2 days ago, which is the follow these 10 steps to win any fantasy draft. It says draft like a pro on the thumbnail. I'll put the link in the chat, but I actually think that is the most helpful video I've released all offseason. Just some videos do better than others, but specifically if you guys are in like some different league, like if you're in like an 8-team, if you're in like, you know, some 14-team league, it's like that video is incredibly helpful because we talk through starting lineups. So, but I will say, like, in summation, I don't want to, you know, jump into a whole strategy thing here while streaming, but in summation, I would say the bigger your league, as in the bigger the starting lineup, the bigger the team total, like 14 team, then the less I'm probably going to prioritize the onesies, which is like tight end and quarterback. But the smaller your league, like if you're out there and I know like someone commented on a video today said, hey, I'm in a 6-team league. Does this strategy apply? If you're in like a 6 or an 8-team league, I mean, I don't have a problem taking like a Lamar Jackson in the second round, and then going Trey McBride in round 3 or something. Like the smaller your league, the smaller your starting lineup, the smaller your league size, the more I'm going to prioritize those onesies because they make a huge difference in that format. Onesies being, again, quarterback and tight end. So yeah, hopefully that is helpful, though. As Quinshawn Judkins coming off the board there at the 703. Haven't really heard much about his situation. It would be great to hear something, wouldn't it? It's just he got into those legal issues so late. Yeah. All right, Rowan says, I'm going to do something ballsy here. He's on the clock here at the 7:04. He's got... All right. He's got 5 receivers now. 2 running backs. He actually can't even start all these wide receivers. But I love it. He goes Emeka Egbuka. He says, you know what? I'm going to take my guy here. Mark Andrews comes off the board in the 7th next. Steven says, just got my longtime home league to drop kickers and defenses. I love it. I love it, love it, love it. What's your draft strategy for the 105 and a 10-man? I would probably, like the strategy that's, in my official video, I would follow that. Anchor wide receiver, double RB strat. That would be the one I would follow personally. Yeah. If you're in a 10-team, 12-team, it's going to be the same in that format for me. Might slightly change. Like I said, that's why that video is so important, the Draft Like a Pro one, because those little nuances are important to discuss. And again, in your format, maybe onesies become a little more important. But again, I appreciate y'all for being here with me. We had a like goal of 100, and we are currently at 89. So we're about 11 likes away. If you want to be a friend and hit that like button. Tunchi says, Judkins had goodish news today. The Browns running back waived his right to a speedy trial, which could push the case into 2026. Yeah. How do you guys read that, though? Do you read that as in, like, he's going to be able to play in 2026? I don't know, honestly, because my concern is that they would say, we're going to put you on the exempt list or something. That might be a PR nightmare if they let him play. I don't know what the answer is. Bo Nix coming off the board there at the 706. And then Patrick Mahomes. So Mike goes ahead and says, you know what? We're betting on Xavier Worthy and Patrick Mahomes to step it up. And if they reach another level, then you're going to have a nice team there. Stephon Diggs in the 7th round. That's hot. I like that. Yeah, Rowan, that was my concern. Like, I think NFL exempt list could actually be used here for Judkins. So, man, I can't say for sure. I really don't know. I really don't know. When does this next game start? Isn't there another game? Like, all these games are pointless now to watch. But when is the... Okay, the next game's in about 50 minutes. Oh, my gosh. Steven says the Ibuka pick is feeling kind of weird now. It's like that, it's that meme with, where he's like, yeah, wearing suits is starting to feel weird now. Mike says, do you think the Browns care about PR? I think they do now more than ever. Yeah, that's fair, Rowan. Steven says, Seahawks in an hour. Badaki's in the building. And yeah, AR's not great, is he? What's up, Rico? 108 in a draft. You go receiver or running back. It always depends on what falls to you and what's naturally there. But to me, at that point of the board, typically, more times than not, I'm going receiver. Connor says, I don't know why I have this feeling of Shador coming back leading the pack after getting thrown down to the Wolves. So when is the Browns game then? It's not today, is it? No. Not today. Commish Rowan. Is everybody happy to change the clock to 60 seconds or a minute and a half in round 8? How do we feel about that? I think we should change the clock here in round 8 to either a minute and a half or 60 seconds. I love the Ricky Pearsall pick. I know Gary the Hater loves it too. He's a Niners fan. You can see by the logo. But big fan of that Pearsall pick there. Let's see what Fritz is going to do. After not being able to get a wide receiver in round 1, he built a nice wide receiver room of Adams, Wilson, Pickens, Hunter, and then Baker also off the board there at the 7-12. So let's go ahead and change the clock either to 1.5 minutes or 60 seconds, Rowan. Either 1.5 or 60. Either way, that's fine. Yeah, to anybody who wasn't with us earlier on stream, we talked about the Rashawn Slater injury. Yeah, we actually we went ahead and referenced a tweet from Rich, who works with Sharp Football Analysis, and he actually mentioned that last year, 159 plays, Rashawn Slater was off the field, and in those plays, they were pretty much bottom of the league in like yards per play, success rate, yards per carry, explosive play rate. So it's definitely concerning, but they have a really good, young, talented tackle in Joe Alt who can naturally move over to left tackle. He played left tackle at college anyway. Elite prospect, Joe Alt. So I think they'll have enough time to figure this out. It's certainly, if anyone's telling you it's nothing, then I think they're just talking out their ass. It's not nothing. It's not nothing when you lose one of the best tackles in the game. So it's certainly an impact, but I think they have enough time to figure it out. In an ideal world, like for me now, I'm probably not going to take Ladd in the second, but I still will take him in the third. Amarion, probably not going to, he's not going to move up to like a second round ADP anymore, but he probably stays like middle of the third ADP. So yeah, man, I'll tell you what, Joe Mixon at the 801. I don't know how that doesn't end up being the best pick of the draft. At some point, I think we correct too much. I think we're in that point now. You just can't convince me that 8th round Joe Mixon is going to kill your fantasy team. You know? I mean, I think we're sure, maybe this is the, CMC. Maybe I'm an idiot, but I just don't know how that hurts your fantasy team. Even if he's not like the same player he was last year and he's only like top 15. Even if he's a top 24 guy, you took him in the 8th round. I mean, I don't know, y'all. I feel like it's a pretty reasonable price. We're in August 7th right now, so let's go to July 1st. We're going to look at ADP from July 1st to present day. And I want to look at Joe Mixon's ADP, how far it has fallen. So give me 1 second here. As we see Brian Robinson, Juwan Jennings, Cooper Kupp coming off the board here. Then Tony Pollard in the 8th. I'm not a big Pollard guy, but I like that pick as well. So, if you guys have been with the channel, we have not been Nick Chubb people. Both myself and Badaki, we know Nick Chubb is in Houston. Maybe we're wrong, but when Joe Mixon, all this injury stuff came up, our mindset was not, wow, we got to go draft Nick Chubb now. I just think Nick Chubb's already been toast for a couple of years. But if you look at the ADP over time since July 1st, let's just look at Joe Mixon first. if you only look at Joe Mixon, I mean, people are willing to spend, around overall 50th to draft him before the injury. Now the injury occurs. Like, how far does this go? Does he end up being like 100 overall or something? Like, when does it stop? And then you can see like Nick Chubb has been on the rise. We have not been team Nick Chubb. We have been team Woody Marks. It's like, if you're going to draft someone, then let people draft Chubb early and get Woody Marks even later. So I'm all aboard like Woody Marks being like one of your last picks or something. But I don't know, man. 8th round? 8th round? We could be overthinking this one, man. So Rowan asked, like, what if the injury doesn't go away? He's already priced in a way where you're limiting so much risk, right? I mean, we're in a draft where Aaron Jones went in the 4th round. We're in a draft where Jordan Mason is almost a 6th round pick. I love Trey Benson, but he's in the 8th, I don't feel like the risk is already baked into that price, It's a great question, Commander. It's a very, very good question. Miles has a question here. I'll get to the super chat in a second. He says, whose fantasy advice / content do you like the most? Yeah, I've been pretty public with this. Everybody's different. Like, you have to keep in mind, like, I think about the NFL and fantasy football like 60 plus hours a week and making my own content and doing my own research. So when I am not doing that, maybe this is surprising, maybe it's not to people, but I'm not really actively looking to watch that type of content. Like, the type of content I produce, I'm not really like actively going to like look at that content. But I've said this many times. I am a fantasy footballer through and through. Like, those guys, I started watching them very early on. I'm sure all of you guys know the fantasy footballers at this point, right? They're probably the biggest name in the fantasy space. But these are the guys that I've watched for a very, very long time. And, I remember watching like their oldest video and their setup and like the way they did things. And kind of watching them grow, it made me think, wow, that's incredibly cool that they are trying to pursue this as a career. I didn't even think about that being a possibility until I saw the footballers do it. So they have been an incredibly huge inspiration to me. And at first, like I said, we did this kind of just for fun, and then because the footballers did it, and then we realized, oh, maybe we could also build an audience and build a community and build people who think the same way and love football just as much as us. And so yeah, that is really, like, if you want my honest answer, I because I do it all the time, I only watch the footballers. And it's not because I don't think there's other great creators in this space, because there's a lot of great creators in this space. It's just I don't find myself wanting to spend my time watching content around fantasy when I'm not doing it. So I don't know. Does that make sense or no? I don't know. Maybe it doesn't. RG Steven, thanks so much for the donation here. And by the way, guys, just a heads up, we appreciate everybody who donates to the channel, no matter what it looks like. But if you do have a question, consider popping that through the Flock Fantasy website. I'll have Nightbot send a message here to you. But the reason I say that is because when you ask a question through the Flock Fantasy website, number one, YouTube doesn't take 30% of your donation like they do on a super chat. And number two, if you do it through like a trade question or a start-sit question like we'll have in season, we'll be able to see pretty much your entire league. It just gives us the ability to give you a better answer. But I appreciate you, Seven. Thanks so much for the donation here. He says, I'm drafting 10th, 10-man league, full PPR. Should I go duo hero wide receiver or duo hero running back or wide receiver running back? Would you also pick Brees versus Hampton? Y'all are great. Okay, so a lot of questions there. And, I would say you're another person that I would strongly suggest to watch My video I released not today, but yesterday, which is follow these 10 steps to win any draft like a pro, is the thumbnail. I'll put the link in the chat because I talk about a lot of the things that you had questions in there, right? And one of the things I'm going to, talk about is, and I said this in my strategy video, but fantasy football strategies are ultimately pointless if you're forcing them and they're not falling to you the way they should. So how do I explain that? In my video, as you know, anchor wide receiver double RB strat. Well, guess what? That doesn't work if I'm drafting at the 6th spot and Jefferson and Lamb are gone. I'm not going to pick, just to force a strategy, a Neighbors, a Puka over a Gibbs or a Saquon or a Bijan. Do you know what I mean? So, ultimately, you should not be going into any single draft with the mindset, I have to pull off this strategy, because you're going to end up drafting a terrible team. Truly. If your mindset going into a draft is I have to accomplish this strategy, you're going to draft a terrible team. Okay? You've got to stay water. When I mean stay water, I mean stay flexible, right? Stay fluid. Let the draft come to you, right? For example, I think Fritz did a really good job of this. A lot of people who are doing this real draft with us today, shout out to the Chi-Town League, they all watch our content, right? So they all know the strategy I want to pursue. Now, what Fritz could have done is he could have drafted Drake London at the 112 and said, you know what? I got a wide receiver in round 1. I'm going to do the strategy. But, clearly, CMC, Genty, Achane, these Henrys, these names, I think we would all prefer them over Drake London, even though we love him. So Fritz did a really good job here of staying water. I'm sure Fritz would have wanted to do the double, the anchor wide receiver double RB strat. But ultimately, he would have been forcing it if he tried to do it at that point of the board. And he did a great job staying water, and he let the board fall to him. So I think that is, the best advice I can give to you is don't be so stuck on a strategy that, you're stressing out about it as the draft happens. There's no point in me telling you, hey, in round 1, you have to go wide receiver. If there's not a good wide receiver available and clearly running back's the best player, that's just stupid for me to tell you. You know what I mean? And then between Breece and Hampton, I have them in the same tier. I don't have a strong preference between the two. I probably am going to at some point say Hampton as I'm starting to settle into my rankings and feel really confident about them. But at the moment, I probably lean Breece Hall just because we have more history of him being a reliable fantasy asset. But I could see myself going Amarion Hampton very soon. They're pretty much, they're in the same tier for me. They're 1 spot difference in my rankings. So if you have a strong conviction between those two names, don't be afraid to lean one way or the other. All right. So is that a good answer, 7? Let me know. I feel like that's a pretty good answer, but, you know what I mean? So Rock Candy says, my intrusive troll thoughts tell me to take Lamar and Allen at the 2-3 turn. Yeah, I definitely don't do that. Trash says, fantasy football has made me fall in love years ago. Same for me. And he said, Flock Fantasy helped me win a championship last season. I love that. I do remember the OG Fantasy podcast. You know what? I will say that. Back in the day before I was creating content, I would watch Matthew Berry, Kyle Fields, Matthew Berry and Fields and Starfania Bell. That group, I think that group was pretty special. Obviously, they didn't stay together, but I'm going to go ahead and definitely agree with you that back in the day, that group was special. All right. A lot has happened on the draft board, so we should keep up with this because, again, this is a real draft. All right. So we've got Matthew Golden in the 8th. We've got Tracy, then Coleman, Scadaboo, Benson, Pittman, Warren. Patty Mag got Jaden Higgins, which we love. And again, this is why I think Hawkinson in the 6th is so tough, guys. I find Hawkinson in the 6th so tough because you can get Njoku in the 9th. You can get Kelsey, Ingram in the 9th. Kraft falls to the 10th. Loveland falls to the 10th. I find it so tough to go Laporta Hawkinson this year. I even think Andrews was a bit too early, personally. But then we had Jaden Reed coming off the board. Charbonnet there at the 9.5. I wonder how Corridor feels about that one. Maybe he was hoping to handcuff Ken with the injuries. Then Addison almost falls to the 10th round. I like the 10th round Kyler Murray. Dobbins at the 10.4. Spears and then Ayuk here at the 10.06. Followed by Tank Bigsby at the 10.07. And we are up to date with this draft. And then we see... Whoa! Look, Untouchables, I love you, brother. I don't want anyone to take anything the wrong way. I'm all for a sleeper, all right? I'm all for you getting your guy. But I'm going to go out on a limb and say that probably could have been your last pick. Maybe I'm wrong. Like, whoever's in this chat, y'all let me know. Like, maybe I am wrong on that. Maybe other people were eyeing up Deontay Thornton. But I think you could have left it to the last round, man. I think that could have been your last round pick. But hey, if Deontay Thornton is, you know, the next DK Metcalf, and you know you're gonna be coming back to the stream and saying, "I told you so." You were the idiot, Zach. So who knows? Trash says knowing your draft placement more than an hour before a draft should be illegal. I don't know. Like, what's everyone's thoughts on that? It's a fair like opinion. I'm not saying you're wrong. Like, personally, I guess because I do this so often, so I'm speaking from a different perspective. I find it incredibly fun on draft day to find out your draft spot. Now I've done hundreds of mock drafts and hundreds of best ball tournaments, so maybe that's why I feel that way. But to me, there's a thrill in it. I feel like there's a thrill in like finding out your draft spot just before you're about to jump into the draft. I get a real, I guess a high off of it. I don't know. Is that just me? So yeah, there's not a wrong answer there though. Miles says Hunter Henry makes me punt tight end forever. In the 11th round, we did have Drake May coming off the board there at the 11:01, which is great to see. We have a question on the Flock site, which I want to get to. This is from a Sam Fran 49ers fan. He says 10-man PPR, and I'll put a little link in the chat here if you guys want to ask any questions on the Flock site. And if you don't have a free account, create a free account with the promo code LAND. You can jump into some mock drafts there as well. 10-man PPR with bonus. I'm guessing maybe like bonuses, like big plays maybe. Start 2 quarterbacks, wide receiver, running back, flex 1. Quarterback and defense, highest projected points. What is the strategy? Well, I'm really glad that you asked this, because the video I released today that completely flopped on its face, which is the Superflex strategy, this is the video for you, my friend. So when you get the time code, by the way, when we answer your questions here and we hit next question, you get a time code to exactly when I answered your question. My friend, this video is specifically for you. The video I put out today that flopped like a fish, that's the video that you should watch. But I'll just say quickly, I want 2 quarterbacks through the first 4 rounds, and I am probably going to prioritize tight end the least, and that's because of the obligations to your starting lineup each and every week. Tight ends are not going to contribute to a high percentage of your weekly points. So I'll probably prioritize tight ends the least. I'm not going to force like a defense up my draft board. I actually talked about this, funnily enough, another video, draft like a pro, follow these 10 steps. So watch these 2 videos. One of the things I talked about is not spending too high of a pick on your defense. Like, for example, if you go to Fantasy Pros right now, they have the Ravens as like the 3rd best defense this year in rankings. But the Ravens play Buffalo week 1. Are you going to start the Ravens versus Buffalo? Like, you're not going to start the Ravens versus the Buffalo Bills defense. You're going to be looking on the waiver wire. And then in the next 2 out of the next 3 games, they play the Lions, they play the Chiefs. You never draft a defense early. You can scout the waiver wire. So, I hope that is helpful, man. But I appreciate you. Let me know if I didn't answer any questions well enough. But I would definitely say prioritize those quarterbacks 2 through the first 4 rounds. And then And then, yeah, if you want to come back, maybe be more, just let me know more specifics about the bonuses. Like, is there a bonus to tight end? Is it bonuses for big plays? You know, maybe your Joe Burrows become more important if it's a big play type of league. But yeah, I appreciate you big time, my dude. Thanks for the support over there. All right. After Deontay Thornton went off the board, and I hope Untouchable isn't mad at me. Dude, I'm not trying to upset you. Please. I don't actually know what your name is on YouTube, so I'm sorry if I've upset you. It's not my job. But after Thornton came off the board, we have Tootin, Blue, Pitts, Shaheed. I just want to say I apologize to Megatron in advance. I don't know if you guys know this, but so here's what happens in fantasy football, and I can tell you this as someone who has, you know, played almost my whole life. I could say maybe I'm a veteran. I don't know. But one thing I know for sure, if I know anything at all about fantasy football, is the minute you draft Kyle Pitts onto your team, it's over. Season's gone. You might as well give up. All right? You might as well not even like set your lineup every week. Once you draft Kyle Pitts, you've pretty much given your team a death sentence. Okay? No, I'm joking. Like, it is pretty interesting to see the conversations with him and Penix. Apparently, they're playing golf together. Is that going to matter? I don't know. Probably not, but it will be fun to find out. Johnny says, does it matter if half your league are using draft assistants? Meaning like the sites that allow people to look at rankings? No, I mean, it's no different than old school people printing off, you know, rankings from ESPN and bringing it to their draft. Kieran in the chat. What's up, Kieran? If you guys don't know, Kieran Leaney and I, we know each other well. Went to the same church together, and he's an awesome dude. Appreciate you, man. Thanks so much for the donation. Kieran Leaney is in one of my 2 home leagues. And we are, you know, me and Kieran are actually in a Superflex league. So not only did I post this Superflex video and it flopped, but I also am at an incredible disadvantage because, again, probably not going to post it if I know it does this poorly. But now in my home league, everyone knows my ideal strategy anyway for Superflex. So kind of a double flop there in a way. But I appreciate you, Kieran. Thanks for showing some love to the channel, man. You're always out here showing love, actually, when we get to that fantasy football season. I appreciate you, dude. Karen says I'm going to use it for the lulz. You know what? I am reigning champion in that league, so. What was it? This was, yeah, I won last year with Jaden Daniels was our big hit. Let's see. Draft results. This is from last year. This was my draft last year in my home Superflex league, in case anyone cares. So we took Tyreek at the 107, Garrett Wilson at the 206. Somehow we won the league. Well, the reason we won the league is because we got Henry at the 307, Daniels at the 406, Thomas at the 806. And we must have hit the waiver wires and trades like a... I mean, when you win your league and 3 out of your first 5 picks were absolute busts, I mean, is that impressive or is that sad? I don't know. Luther Burden in the 11th round, I really, really like. I like that pick a lot. 11th round Javonte is a very easy pick to make. I'm not a big fan of his, but at that price point, it's hard to make a case against it. Molerat goes Jack Besh, then Rashad White, Stevenson, Orendo. I was curious, when is Keenan Allen going to come off the board? So Keenan comes off the board there. And the best news for Fritz is that he, even with all the concern about CMC, he's already got the handcuff there with Isaac Orendo, which is nice. I like the late round Jake Ferguson bid there. A little Dylan Sampson action I'm a big fan of. Nice picks here so far, guys. I appreciate that, Karen. Trash says, I started 2-5 and wound up winning my league. Bless Jaden Daniels. Yes, Jaden Daniels, the chosen one. You know what's hilarious? You know, Rock is talking about. He says, I loved your videos in the Flock League last year. Was rooting for you, but also happy for Avery. The funniest part about that was that week, I was in the semis in the Flock League. but also in the semis in my home league. And that league I just showed you. And that was a week where Jaden Daniels just went nuclear, man. Went absolutely sicko mode. And it was like the weirdest feeling, even as a Washington fan, you know, because you're watching it and you're so excited. And then in your home league, you're winning. In the flock league, it's hurting you. The range of emotions was just insane that week. But that was a fun week. Again, appreciate y'all for being here with us. You know, I know I've said it before. I'll say it again. The 2025 season pass, if you don't know what it is the best deal the fantasy industry has ever seen. I'm not just saying that. That's just the God honest truth. All right. I'll put a link in the chat for you if you want to get the season pass. What is the season pass? Well, it's $34, and it's really targeted to anyone out there who is not thinking about fantasy football for the entire year. Like, if you're not a dynasty guy, a diehard, and you're thinking about football from like August to, you know, January, then the season pass is specifically designed for you because it gives you unlimited access to the Flock Fantasy site, all the premium tools like the player comparison tool, the trade calculator, rankings for in-season every week, rest of season rankings. You also get access to my draft guide, which version one is already up there on the Flock site. We're going to get version 2 out for you very, very soon. You also get access to jump into some of these leagues as well, right? Everyone who is in this league today, this real league today that we're doing, they are season pass members with the promo code LAND, or they are annual Mother Flocker members with the promo code LAND. So these are all guys that support us. So you get access to be in those raffles. And of course, like I said, unlimited access to the Flock site. We just dropped our cheat sheet. And if you guys grew up playing fantasy like me, then you really miss the nostalgia of things. Like, I miss when it was like a physical draft board and I'm printing out like rankings from ESPN and I have a pen and I'm marking off names as I go. And it brings me back to the days of drafting with my dad in his home work league. So we did this last year. People loved it. But the cheat sheet is intentionally created so you can print it off, bring it to your draft. You know, the handy old pen and paper, mark off players as you go. I'm going to be using it myself in the Flock League, which we draft in about a week from now. But yeah, that is what it is designed for. All right, after we had Trey Harris, Tillman, Arroyo, we have Caleb Williams, Jerome Ford, which is a nice pick there from Ryan, Blake Corum, Jalen Wright, Brenton Strange, and Justin Herbert, as well as Justin Fields. So these guys all come off the board. Cam Ward coming off the board. People trying to get them late round quarterbacks. Rashad Bateman. You know, honestly, I don't think anyone had a poor draft. Like, I can't look at this draft board and point and say anyone had like a terrible draft or anything. Of course, I have like my preferences, but yeah, I don't think anyone necessarily had like a terrible draft. You know what I can do, actually, when the draft is over, I can go ahead and add this to the Flock site in the My Teams and see how all of you guys stacked up. That will be fun. Let's do that. Joseph says, Zach, you're one of my favorite creators in the Flock. How did y'all start the Flock League? What's the backstory? Yeah, it's funny. Last year, we all flew to Texas. And really the intention was just to, like, all the Flock creators. We flew there just to kind of collaborate on content for our channels. But we decided to jump into a league together. Record it as a vlog just for fun. And then I don't think any of us thought that that vlog was going to get like even 5,000 views. But if you go back and look, I think it ended with like 248. So 248,000 views. None of us thought that this would happen, by the way. So it was really like an afterthought last year. But now I actually fly out tomorrow to go to Austin, Texas from Sydney, Australia. And I'm literally flying across the world. And I'm only doing it to be in this in the Flock League. I'm only doing it for a fantasy football draft. So I'm going to be at Customs and they're going to be like, what's the reason for your trip? And I'm going to say business. And then if they ask me more questions, I'm saying no, like I'm serious. Like I'm doing a fantasy football draft. Like I gotta handle business, but it's like actually like it's kind of like part of my business too. If that, I don't know if that makes sense. But yeah, so it kind of was an afterthought that turned into something bigger, which again, none of us anticipated that it was going to happen like that. So pretty cool to be a part of, honestly. But Bedak and I, we feel blessed to be a part of it. Someone says if straight to El Salvador, hopefully you don't get abducted by ICE. Now, clearly, you know, I'm not going to jump into any politics on the channel, but I am an American citizen. So hopefully that helps. We'll have to see. Time will tell. Maybe I'll wear the Texas hat. Akshay says, what are your top 5 teams? Let's see. Let's see. I'm gonna pull this this league into the my teams and see how it ranks out. Love the finish here from Fritz with Woody Marks and Ja'Cory Krosky Merritt. I'm sure a lot of people are upset right now that Krosky Merritt just came off the board. I know that is like everyone's favorite last round pick. So I'm sure that upset some people. Gotta finish strong. That's right. But again, guys, appreciate you big time. You know, I'm just thinking about this logistically. The next draft is August 14th, but I actually don't think, Rowan, are you with me right now? I'm just thinking because of the week we're in Austin, I actually don't think we're going to be able to do it the 14th. I think we're going to have to move that draft up. And I think we're going to have it on the... Let me double check, because we will be at a comedy show that night in Austin. I just realized. I have to find out what time the comedy show is, but we might have to move that up like a day or so. Okay, hold on. I have the schedule here. Okay, let's do that. Let's move that a day earlier. Is that okay? Let's move the Chi-Town, and if you can go change that on the form, let's do the Hollywood League a day earlier. And by the way, let's change the name of the Hollywood League to the Austin League, because we'll be in Austin. Bedak and I will be together. And then let's make the next week, we'll call that the Hollywood League. And again, to anybody out there who ends up purchasing the season pass, you can enter. We're going to raffle off these spots. In fact, should I raffle that off tonight? No. We'll find time to raffle off this league, but it will be in the next couple days. We're going to raffle off spots for this league that will actually be August 13th. And again, if you're either annual member with the promo code LAND, or you are a season pass member with the promo code LAND, you are eligible to enter this raffle to be in this upcoming week's draft with our members. So what we just had happen tonight, you're eligible to be a part of that. And all you need to do is go to our Discord. All right. And then right above, so in the LAN section in announcements, you see that on the left side of your screen? Let's make that really easy. In announcements, right above the cheat sheet announcement, you'll see a link to enter our community leagues. Look, if you're going to fill out this form and you're not supporting us as an annual member with the promo code LAND or as a season pass member, I'm just going to tell you now it's pointless, because you're not going to get entered into the raffle, okay? But honestly, I think Badaki and I should be in that league. I think Badaki and I should be in that league next week. He said he's actually on the same page. He said might join that league. So get your submissions in now. We will raffle that off in the next coming days on a stream. We might stream on the weekend when we get to Austin. But yeah, get in that league. Make sure you put your submissions in for Hollywood. That's going to change here soon. Rowan's going to change that, and it's going to go to August 13th. So yeah, already that says the Austin League, which is great. But remember, that's going to say August 13th, not 14th. And get your submissions in, because if me and Badaki are going to join it and Rowan's going to be there, there's only going to be 9 spots, okay? So get your submissions in now. But let's have a look. Okay, so was there any crazy picks here to end the draft? We had Kyle Monongai, which I like a lot. Nothing crazy. A little Jordan Love action at the end. But let's pull this into the My Teams tab, which, again, this is one of the features you can have when you become a Season Pass member with the promo code LAN. But you can add your league. This is a sleeper league. Let's add the ID here. And I want to see where this league lands. Okay, I don't think it's like fully ready yet. Rowan, can you send me the ID for that league? I think it might have a new ID now that the draft is done. But we're going to try and have a look at where this league stands. I think the ID might have changed. So once Rowan sends that through. Yeah, I think the ID is different, but we can have a look at that in a second. Should we jump into a mock draft? Should we jump into a mock draft? I might have to give this a second for the system to... Okay, no, here we are. Yeah, so I was right. The league ID changed. Okay, so this is the league that we just drafted. This is the league analyzer. You can use this for any of your leagues as well, by the way. ESPN, Yahoo, Sleeper. And honestly, like, if you want to just try this for... This is one of the free features. There's a couple free features on the site. The league analyzer is free. If you don't have an account yet, just sign up with the promo code LAND and you'll be able to see this league analyzer for free. And you can enter some of your leagues here. Again, a lot of the features are locked, but that's a free one. Okay, so according to expert consensus, Rowan is 1. It doesn't really matter if you're last, by the way, because everyone's team are going to be so close to each other. But let's have a look specifically at my rankings. What changes here? So if you do my rankings, D Blessed is number 1. Ryan goes to 2. And why would that be? Well, that's probably because he has Bo Nix, who I love, Henderson, who I love. I like Bigsby. He's got Jefferson, London, Smith. I like this team, yeah. I don't think there's any overpowered teams in this league, though. I'd say you guys did a pretty good job drafting. I mean, I like this team. I think you all did a pretty good job drafting. I like this team from D Corridor too. Y'all did great. Like no one had a stinker. You know what I mean? I don't think anyone had like a stinker draft per se. Keon as your wide receiver 2 is going to be tough there though. I want to jump into a flock draft. Again, if you don't have an account over there, they did just update. I know there's been a couple glitches. They did just update the flock drafts, the mock drafts. Full transparency, I probably shouldn't be streaming anymore because me and my wife need to pack our bags for Austin. And we're going to a hotel tonight before that's by the airport. And then I'm flying out at like 6 a.m. tomorrow to Austin, Texas. But let's just pretend like the draft is still going. We're going to jump into a draft together because I want to get some practice in. And if you don't have an account yet on the Flock site, create a free one with the promo code LAND. I'll put a link in the chat for you. And then you can decide if you want to get the season pass or not. But you can jump into a draft with us for free. I'll create this. No, I'm not going to spectate. I'm going to jump in, redraft. We'll go full PPR, and we'll do start 8. Okay. All right. I'm going to put this in the Discord in the mock drafts channel, okay? So under the land tab of the Discord, which again, shout out to Nightbot. I messed up. Shout out to Nightbot. They're going to send a link in there, but I'm going to say this is where we sending links. Okay. Just so everybody knows. All right, so again, under the land tab in the Discord, and then in the mock drafts tab. I'm going to send a link here, but I'm going to get everyone a second to go there, okay? I'm gonna give everyone a second to go there, and I want to claim a spot here. Let's just try like the 4 spot or something. Okay, here comes the link. Let's get into a draft together, gang. Let's get some practice in, as this draft is filling pretty quickly. Still some spots left, so let me pop this link right into the YouTube chat as well, so we can fill this. We currently have 5 spots. 5 spots left. Would love for you to come mock with me. 4 spots left. Not the Mile High Club. We are not flying business, unfortunately. Jay Spicy says, how do I get my leagues draft in your stream? Can't really get like your leagues draft in the stream, but something that we offer, which again is completely up to you if you want to do this or not. Something that we offer, which we'll do a lot of these in season. You know, right now a lot of people haven't finished their drafts, but if you're on the Flock site, you can see this personal advice button at the top right and the bottom right. When you click that, you can go to team review, and then if you already have a team linked here, it's going to make your life easier. But you go continue, select your team, right? And then when you go through, just make sure you select Zach and Badaki. That's going to give us access to your entire league. It's going to let us see your team, and then we will review your team live on stream. I actually think I have a review that I have to do today anyway, so you might be able to see that here in a second. I'm going to review someone's team. But then after we finish your review, you're going to get this beautiful playbook. All right, we call this the playbook. It's a game plan for your offseason. I'll tell you what trades I would suggest, players I'm not going to be moving, maybe some waiver wire additions. Again, you can use the promo code LAND, become an annual Mother Flocker member. If you're a season pass member, you can just upgrade to the annual Mother Flocker membership. Get a voucher that you can use to the Flock store. Or if you're a member of a different promo code or you don't want to become a member, you can purchase one a la carte through the Flock store as well. All right, that's the best way to have me look at your team specifically and give me the ability to look at your league. All right, we are full here. Again, this is a 12-team PPR start 8, 1 quarterback, and a couple upgrades to the mock drafts so far. One of the things that people wanted, you'll see on the right hand of your screen, it'll show you like when your pick is next, so what players might be available. That's a cool little addition. They added sounds. We'll grab CD here. The sound is like it's like a whoosh. Let me see if I can let y'all hear the sound. Y'all hear that? All right, let's wait for someone to make their next pick. Once Jay Spicy, you hear that? Maybe I should shut up so you can actually hear the sound. Hear that? Do you hear it? It's like a shoo. Let's see. Young Liquid make a pick. You hear that? It's like a shoo. But they added sounds. Oh, Badaki's in this. Badaki's in this. He's got Malik Neighbors there at the 108. Oh, you're good, Spicy. What's up, Colin? Welcome in. Sorry, guys. So hard to keep up with all the chats, but I appreciate y'all for being here. And also, I'm going to go ahead and take off your guys' league from my teams, just because I don't want to get filled with leagues that I'm not in. All right. After CMC goes, we have Neighbors, Puka, Achan, Collins, Amon-Ra, Genty. So D-Lou goes Achan there at the 110. Mike is going to start double receiver here with Nico Bryan. That's hot if he can get some running backs later on that he likes. Derrick Henry comes off the board at the 204. Badaki on the clock. You can see again, it says that 209. So based off of expert consensus, these are the players that will be available. We'll see how that actually pans out. In fact, I need to think through the Lab McConkey thing a little bit more. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to move him down. With the Keenan Allen signing, I moved him below London and Brown, but I don't feel like I need to move him any further than that. As Bucky Irving is off the board, as well as A.J. Brown. Let's see what Mr. Ghost is up to here. He goes Chase Brown. I've got options here no matter what happens. I'm happy with my options. So expert consensus says Brock Bowers. I have Bowers and McBride as the best players available as well, but I'm going to grab Jonathan Taylor here. We'll start CeeDee Lamb, Jonathan Taylor. Let's see what comes back to us. In fact, I need to update my overall rankings. I updated my positional rankings, but let me change my overall because I don't think I'm going to take Ladd over those running backs anymore. I do think I prefer like the Taylor Jacobs over the Ladds right now. Not that it's a bad pick or anything. But yeah. Just thinking out loud here as I'm adjusting my rankings on the fly. All right. So McBride comes off the board there. Then we get Jacobs, Higgins, Kyron. I was eyeing Kyron up there. I'm not going to lie to you. What's expert consensus say? Marvin? Really? Marvin's this high? Who's that high on Marvin? Let's just grab a quarterback here. We're going to grab Josh. I want to see how this plays out. I could have gone running back there. I could have easily justified running back. But I want to see how it might play out if I go an Elite 1Z. Like a Joshy Allen. You missed the mock, Johnny, but that's okay. What's up, Mason? He says, I moved Ladd down overall, but kept him same positionally. Yeah, this is kind of where I stand right now. This was after the Keenan addition. He was my 9. I moved him to 11. I don't feel comfortable moving him any further down, but I did have to just go in and change my overall rankings because he was a little bit too high there. But I actually think the mock draft tool in a way is really helpful to like cross-reference your own rankings in a way. Yeah, I don't know if that makes sense, but so is anybody important playing in this Seahawks Raiders game? Do we have any starters? Is there anyone that's worthwhile in this game? Like, are we seeing? I imagine Genty's not playing, right? Is Jalen Milroe going to be out there? Mason says 100% agreed. I've updated my rankings way more actually drafting with them on site. Yeah, because it's funny because like you're showing everyone on stream your rankings, and then you're like, actually, I wouldn't draft that player over that one. Let me change that real fast. It's never it's never a positional issue for me. It's always the issue of the overall ranking. I do really like the addition of like when your pick is up next, you're kind of getting like an indication of what to do with your queue. Of course, I can't really use my queue on stream, but. So James Cook at the 402. I love the start from Team 12 here. I like that start a lot. Jaden Daniels comes off the board at the 404. Mr. Ghost, just straight testosterone. He said, put it straight in my veins, baby. Early auto pick, not an issue for me yet. Is anyone who's drafting with me? Can you let me know? Are you finding any issues, guys, with any auto picks? It wasn't an issue for me. I should try out the queue thing. I should see if the queue thing is an issue. I'll put a player on my queue and let it roll and see if it picks the right player. But it wasn't an issue that time, which was nice. Once we get through some of these little bugs, it's already the best mock draft tool in the industry. It's not even close. Like, we did a mock draft on Sleeper yesterday, and the team that you're able to put together is just ridiculous. It's just not realistic at all whatsoever. Okay, Mike Evans. What you gonna do, Jay Spicy? Whose rankings are these? These are experts. Yeah, me and the experts agree here. I do like the addition of adding both positions. All right. I'm gonna be more upset if I don't grab a running back here than a wide receiver. So we'll grab Chuba here. Don't love Chuba in the 4th. I almost feel like if I could have guaranteed like Caleb or Harvey in the 5th, I would have waited, but there's more receivers I feel comfortable waiting on. Oh, I didn't do my Q, my bad. Let me try that on the next one. All right, so is anybody playing today? That's the question. Mike says it would be cool if there was an option to take all draft spots in a mock to mimic a live draft you're in to see. So you're saying like you think it would be cool if you could determine every pick in the draft? Is that what you're saying, Mike? I guess Sleeper kind of lets you do that where you can set like no clock and then you click on every pick and decide. Is that what you mean? Yeah. The good news is like the bots that we have now and like when you create your own private lobby is pretty much better than even deciding it yourself because you're using other people's rankings. I mean, we might go another running back here. Let's see how this pans out. What does expert say? Expert says Terry. So guys, Terry's available. Grab Terry. Terry's there. Worthy's there. Shuddy, go one of those names. Perfect. All right. We're going to grab Jameson if it lets us. If it doesn't let us, we're going to grab RJ. We'll just grab one of these 3 names. Let's hope that the Q works here. So, I was probably going to go T-Mac if I went at the 409 wide receiver. All right, so I think it works. I think all the bugs that I was experiencing are fixed now. Okay, so I was probably going to go T-Mac here at the 409. And then I would have had the option of like a Harvey Johnson. So I think maybe I should have gone T-Mac first. That's okay. Brody says, bro, you're terrible at drafting. I appreciate that, man. Come draft with us. Draft the dominant team and then screenshot it. Show all your league mates. Mason says, bots should be better tomorrow as well. 2 minor adjustments coming. Love it. By the comment here calling me a beta, I am imagining you are under the age of 15. So have a good day, Brody. I'm not even going to get into it. It's a TikTok brain right there. Maybe Damian Martinez. We could see some Damian. I'd actually love to see Damian. The fact that he fell to the 7th round in the draft was... I thought he was more like a Brian Robinson than like a 7th rounder, but... yeah. I'm going to change my team name in the Flock League to Beta. It's so easy to tell who's like a TikTok kid. Just the verbiage that they use. It just kind of calls them out. All right, so after I took Jameson, we have Terry, Hunter, Metcalf, Pickens, DJ, and Caleb falls to the 5'10". Harvey falling to the 5'11". I feel like that's pretty rare. To me, at least. I feel like that's pretty rare in the flock drafts. You can probably get that to happen on Sleeper, but I don't think often you're going to get Harvey and Johnson falling that far in the 5th on the flock draft. So that's interesting there. All right, so who's starting for the... Oh, is that Trey Tucker? Did he get the number 1? Brody says, no TikTok, I work construction. If you are working construction and you're a grown man and you're using the word beta on a live stream, that is somehow worse. That is somehow more tragic, but thanks for being here, bro. Make sure you go to sleep early. Got to get up and pave the roads. Nico or Amon-Ra? I don't care which way you go, honestly. Like, I would say both of those guys are in the same tier for me. If I have the 10 spot in 3 leagues, 2 of them I'll go Amon-Ra, 1 of them I'll go Nico, 2 of them I'll go Nico, 1 of them I'll go Amon-Ra. I don't have a strong opinion between those 2 names, but I do have Nico ranked 1 spot higher. And that is because I am a big Jameson Williams guy. I do think there's a progression from him. I don't think we've seen like his quote unquote final form. So I'm excited to see him break out this year. As Deonta Thornton looks like he almost came down with the catch. This is their full start. Wow, they got their starters out there. Gino almost got licked. Wow, this is like their actual starters on the field. Let me refresh this bad boy. I'm trying to get some sound in here. Has Genty had a carry yet? Wow, Addison in the 6th. That's a bit early. Brian Robinson in the 6th. Whoa. Some of these picks are shocking. I don't think wide receiver is the play here, for me at least. We've already got a quarterback that we love. I think we're going to grab a wide receiver here. Yeah, we'll grab Igbuka. Let's see what falls back to us. 8th round Thornton? Yes, 8th round Thornton. If you're asking me what I think about George Pickens, then just all I'll say is there's a video coming out soon, and you'll know exactly how I feel about George Pickens. But most of the people drafting with us, I think they have a strong indication on my Pickens feelings. I'm a big fan this year. Big fan. What's up, Armando? Says, genuine question. I know you guys mentioned to be prepared and adjust during drafts, but let's say all the must-draft players or best available players each round get sniped. How do you adjust? Well, there's always going to be a best player available, though. You know? There's always going to be a best player available. There's never going to be a point on the board where there's nobody. So I don't know actually how to answer that one, now that I'm thinking about it. I don't love Montgomery, but in the 7th round, yeah, I think we're going to grab Montgomery here, a little bit of a safety pick in the 7th. Which if you swap like Igbuka and Montgomery, the draft probably looks better, but we got it done in the end. That also tells me I need to adjust my rankings a little bit at running back. I don't know why. I just can't stomach the Aaron Jones price. Am I the only one who feels like that? Anybody else feel that way, or is it just me? I just feel like Aaron Jones is priced too high. Steven knows. Steven knows. All right, after Montgomery comes off the board, we have Stephon Diggs, TJ Hawkinson. Look, I love a mock draft just as much as the next guy. We did a real draft today as well, which was really fun. I appreciate y'all for being here. But I also want to jump into a best ball tournament. We've got one spot here in the Rabbit. If you have never played on FastDraft, we'd love for you to come play with us on FastDraft. And by the way, you can get my cheat sheet for free when you do sign up with the promo code LAND. And when you finish your first contest, that's all you have to do. And then you'll get my cheat sheet for free, which we talked about earlier. I'm sending out weekly emails, by the way. So it's not like you're only going to get one version of it. You're going to get like all the updated versions each and every week. But come play on the FastDraft app. We're playing pretty much every stream. I've got a group chat where I'm tagging people and they're jumping into drafts with me. You can jump into that group chat as well.
But if you've never played, download the app, use the promo code LAND. I'm going to match your deposit up to $50. That's 5 free rabbit tournaments on me and then 10 free Flex 4. When you finish your first contest, I'm going to send you my rookie report and my cheat sheet completely free. And the link is in the comments. I'm just going to let people know one spot left in the rabbit. I'm going to let my group chat know here. And we'll get this filled. But after I took Montgomery, I apologize that I need my stream deck set up. We've got Pollard, Diggs, Hawkinson, Mixon, Downs, Jones, Judy, Godwin, all off the board. Not a little not a bad run right there. And we are officially in a draft here on FastDraft. Let's see what spot we've got. I'll kind of go back and forth between this mock and this best ball tourney. All right, so we are Fox Sports. We're at the 2 spot here. I know Red 9. I know Red 9 is in there with us. I'm assuming we're not going to get Chase here. Yeah. In my home league, I'm probably going Lamb and Jefferson. In this league, I like to build as many unique teams as I can. So I'm going to go Gibbs here at the 102. And we'll keep you updated as my next pick comes around. Here in the mock draft, after Aaron Jones, we have Judy, Godwin, Mason, Mayfield, Jennings, Golden, Shakir. And we are eyeing up our next pick. We've got 3 running backs, 3 wide receivers, and an elite quarterback, which we feel good about. No tight ends I think I should draft here. What does expert consensus say? I'm a lot higher than expert consensus on this player, but let's see if he's available. Okay, are the Seahawks starting anyone? I see Jake Bobo, so I'm assuming not. I see, who's number 36 for the Seahawks? All right. I know which player I'm going to draft here. Perfect. We're going to grab Jaden Higgins at the 809 as our wide receiver 4. Pretty good squad here. I'm liking the team. We've got Josh Allen, Taylor, Chuba, CD, Jameson, Egbuka, Monty, Higgins. And then it's just about filling out that flex and hitting tight end at some point. But I don't really feel a huge need to go heavy on tight ends right now. After that, we see Etienne and Njoku Myers. Is there a tight end I want here? I don't know. Yeah, I guess we could go like an Evan Ingram if we wanted. Let's see how it falls to us. I think I know what I'm going to do if I can do it. Charbonnet off the board at the 901, then goes Dobbins. Etienne at the 810. Don't do it, Shooty. Don't do it. Ayuk comes off the board. Perfect. We'll grab Tank Bigsby here as our 4th running back. And just a little update here in this 10-team PPR best ball drafts. After we went Gibbs, we had Bijan, Lamb, McCaffrey, Saquon, Jefferson, Genty, Neighbors, Puka, Nico, Henry. So Achane falls a little bit. London to the 206, Bucky. And, oh my gosh. Are we going to... No way Brian Thomas gets to me, right?
There's no way Brian Thomas gets to me. Please. Oh my God, that's worse. It's worse that Brian Thomas was one pick away. I wish he would have gone higher. Just shattered my dreams there. It's a 10-teamer, so I probably am going to go Brock Bowers here. I feel pretty confident in my ability, especially in a best ball tourney, to fill out the rest of this roster. I've said this before, like in your 10-team leagues, it's much easier to justify like a onesie early because you're competing against two less, opponents in your drafts. Just makes life a little bit easier. You can fill out those running backs and wide receivers a little bit easier. Team 10 here going Puka, Nico, and Ladd. Heavy wide receiver. And that is the third round reversal, by the way. If you haven't seen that third round reversal before, that's what's happening there. People are saying Bijan and Brian Thomas is a crazy start. It is. You're not wrong at all. After A.J. Brown comes off the board, we have Taylor, Garrett, Josh Allen. I'm not even opposed to starting with let's see what happens. I'm not opposed to like going Lamar here or something as well. So Lamar goes off the board. That's probably saving me from myself. I typically would go Adams here, but let's grab a JSN. Great thing about the FastDraft Best Ball Tournament, by the way, is you can really draft just like you would in your league. It actually is genuinely great practice, especially if you're in a 10-man. Because in a lot of these best ball tournaments, there's no wrong way to play best ball, right? But in a lot of these tournaments, you have to think through, like, what matchups am I trying to target in week 17? Best balls is a weeks 1 to 17 total points format. Perfect. We'll grab Adams here as well. So you don't have to, worry and get all uptight and concerned about, oh no, what matchups do I have in week 17 so I have a chance to win it all? No, it's just like if you draft the best team and you have the best team throughout the entire year, you're going to win the tournament, which for the most part is, I think, replicates your home league a little bit more rather than people looking at week 17 and really wanting to hit big. So just lets you draft a little bit more freely, I'd say. Okay, so after I took Bigsby, we've got Pittman, Scadaboo, Cup, Andrews, Coleman, Warren, Benson, Tootin, Burden, Ingram, Murray, Kelsey, and Dak Prescott coming off the board there. I have some thoughts, but I'm going to share them because I don't want to screw my draft over here. Darnell Mooney off the board. I agree, Brick. I love being at the back end of the board. Damn it. I was hoping to grab one of those guys. Shoot. Man, there was a run of tight ends, wasn't there? I saw at the 904, I saw Andrews, Warren, Ingram, Kelsey, Loveland. I was like, if I just get one of them dudes. My gosh, that plan was wrecked. All right, let's grab Tucker. We'll grab Tucker in the 10th. I'm not happy about it. You can probably tell, but it's all right. My thoughts on RJ Harvey's unofficial depth chart in Denver. It's not going to change the way I draft him whatsoever. I think it's a formality, but if it changes the way others draft him and I can get him cheaper, then I'm all for it. I am all for it. Speaking of RJ Harvey, he comes off the board here in the 5th round in this best ball draft. Henderson before him. We've got a running back in Gibbs, 2 wide receivers in Bowers. James Cook here is very enticing to me, actually. Yeah. I'm going to have a tough time passing on James there, so let's draft James. And let's see how the board falls to us here.
Ideally, this guy doesn't go wide receiver heavy. So he goes Jameson. That broke my heart. He goes Pickens. So he breaks my heart twice. Just shatters it all over the floor. That's fine. We'll grab Travis Hunter here. We'll grab Travis in the 6th. I'm liking it. I'm liking it. Is Hampton worth a 3rd round pick? I think so. I think so, especially like with Najee Harris still not practicing. I do think that Najee is going to be an important part of this offense when he's healthy. I'll just say that. So that is a little bit scary to think about, but I'm not afraid to make that pick, I guess is a good way to say it. Yeah, this draft board is disgusting at this point. I'll be honest with you. This is just a disgusting draft board. I have no strong opinion on where to go. So I'll probably just grab Jaden Blue or Braylon Allen and let the board come back to me and see what I have available then. Okay, it gave me Justin Fields. So we need to report that. I don't know if Mason's here with us. He might be gone by now, but we'll have to figure that one out. That's okay. I do think Justin Fields that late was a value anyway. I just didn't want to go double quarterback. As Genty gets a carry, but it looks like it was a flag on the play. All right, so we've got 3 receivers. We don't have a quarterback. I don't really care for any of the guys there. Pacheco here. Pacheco's an easy pick. All right, so through 7 rounds, it's Gibbs, Cook, Pacheco, Smith, Adams, Hunter, and then Bowers. I'm liking it. I'm liking it. In an ideal world, Bo Nix is our next pick in a format like this, but things typically don't go your way here. Okay, that's perfect. We'll grab Bo Nix. Might not draft him, this early in a home 10-team league, but I want to kind of hit these onesies a little harder in this type of format. I agree, Brick. I liked the value. So I did see Genty got a carry, but I don't think he was able to do anything with it. Has anything happened in the Seahawks-Raiders game, like anything interesting at all? Or no? I'm guessing the answer is no. All right. Let's go back to the mock draft here. So after we took, can one of the moderators handle this streaming, whatever it is? After I took Fields, we had Blue, Purdy, Allen, Keenan coming off the board, Jerome Ford, Caleb Williams, Dylan Sampson, Kincaid, McCarthy, Ferguson. Jalen Wright also gone. Pretty good about the team, though. Allen, Taylor, Hubbard, Lamb, Jamison, Kraft, Egbuka, Montgomery, Higgins, Bigsby, Fields. It's a pretty good team. Yeah, I mean, I am getting close to like a Trey Harris pick here, honestly, with how late this is going for him. Kirk comes off the board. Yeah, we'll grab Trey Harris. What is that? Wide receiver 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Our sixth receiver there. Very little risk. We took Quinshawn here in the 9th on this best ball tournament. He's my RB4. I don't have any expectations for him. If he doesn't play, I'm fine. But I just wanted to add some of him. We'll probably go Matthew Golden here. Unless there's a more obvious stack, which there isn't. No running back I really love here. Yeah, we'll go ahead and grab Golden. In the 10th. I don't think Golden's going that late in most of your real drafts, but that's the beauty of exploiting like FastDraft's ADP right now. A lot of players are stuck down the board, and you can get some really, really nice teams. As we see double tight ends here, Warren and Andrews coming off the board. Dak Prescott in the 10th round. So through 8 rounds, it's Bo Nix, Gibbs, Cook, Pacheco, Judkins, JSN, Adams, Hunter, Golden, Bowers. What do we think? What do we think, people? I like it. I like it. Me likey. After Pat Bryant comes off the board, or after I went Trey Harris, we had Love, Rashawn, Eckler, and Pat Bryant. Don't feel like there's a huge need on my team in general. Is there any player available that I just would love to grab? Woody Marks was one I was eyeing up there. Yeah. I'll go Brenton Strange here. Didn't get a tight end I really loved with Kraft, so we'll go Strange there as well. Try and give myself as many options. So here in this best ball draft, someone has gone 3 tight ends in a row. Kelsey, Warren, Kraft. Which, super interesting team building idea, but you gotta do you. Yeah, we'll grab Loveland. And then in an ideal world, I'm going to get Charbonnet to come back, or Tajay, or Horindo, or is there a wide receiver we like here? Yeah, I'll grab Mooney if he's available, or like a Keon, or even an Ayuk this late. I'm fine with. Any of those options I actually really like. Oh, we're on the board right now. Let's grab Keon. Let's grab a little Keon. I like Keon in the best ball style. Shane says Genty might be a bust. I haven't been able to watch much of the game. I'm assuming it didn't go great, did it? 100%, Joe. Charbonnet is one of the best handcuffs that exists. I'm going to have handcuff rankings in version 2 of the draft guide. And Charbonnet is pretty damn high, man. He is pretty high in those rankings. After I took Coleman, we have Warren Arroyo in the 12th. Caleb Mooney off the board. Surprised 4th and lounge. Didn't take another tight end there. All right, here in the last round of this flock mock, we've got Herbert, Pitts, Chubb, Smith, Sanders, Davis. Thornton comes off the board. Jack Besh comes off the board. I've got an idea of what I want to do, but let's see. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 receivers. 1, 2, 3, 4 running backs. Yeah, I think I know what I want to do here, but let's see. As Marvin Mims comes off the board, we're about to be up on the clock here. 5 wide receivers, 4 running backs, 1 quarterback, 2 tight ends. And we've still got Isaac and Ayuk there. 13th round. I'll take Ayuk in the 13th round. And then I want either Jordan Love here or Isaac or Bigsby, who we have almost 56% of. Let's just keep riding the Bigsby train. Let's just keep riding the Bigsby train here in the 14th. And then we're going to come back at the quarterback spot. Either a Love, a Herbert, a Stafford, a Geno. Even a Darnold. I don't care with my last pick. Let's just get one more quarterback in there. All right. I am on the clock here. Last pick of this mock draft. And I wanted to grab a running back. It was either going to be Kyle or Kendre. Kyle's at the top of the board there. So we'll take Kyle Monangai. Last pick in the draft. And I'm pretty sure we'll be able to see like where this league would stand in rankings here in a second. Wait, is Drew Lock back in Seattle? Did I miss that? Or is that a different number 2 quarterback? When did Drew Lock go to Seattle? I missed that notification. I must have. All right, last pick here, and let's have a look. So, according to expert consensus, I am 8th. According to my rankings, I am 1st. Surprise, surprise. I like the team. I like the squad. Great draft, everybody. Appreciate y'all coming and hanging out. Jump into some private drafts yourself if you want. You can create a free account with the promo code LAND. And you can draft against the bots that I draft, or with my rankings. You can draft against like the FSC bot, the Flock bot, Mason bot, Zach bot, Domain bot, any of those bots you can draft against. But we're going to take a quarterback here to end. And Stafford or Darnold? We'll go Darnold. We'll grab Darnold there to end this draft. Feeling pretty good. Feeling pretty good about this one. Let's see. What did we end up? I think my exposure is at like 59% on Tank Bigsby or something. No, I appreciate you, Mike. Thanks for hanging out with me. Thanks for joining. Let's have a look here. Let's see. Portfolio. Teams. Okay, so this is the one that we just finished off there with. Oh, shoot. Sorry. You can download the FastDraft app and use the promo code LAND. I'll match your deposit up to $50 now that this is playing automatically. I'm hopeless. I need to get a stream deck. But we ended up with Bo Nix, Darnold. Fine with that. Love the running back room of Gibbs, Cook, Pacheco, Judkins, Bigsby. We don't even need Judkins to do anything. JSN, Adams, Travis, Hunter, Golden, Keon, Ayuk. There's going to be a lot of players that need to step up in the wide receiver room, but I like the potential. Then Bowers and Loveland. Very, very happy with that one. Look, guys, I can't do another draft, honestly. If you don't know, you might not have been here earlier, but I fly to Austin, Texas tomorrow, and I have not packed. So, anyway, I got to go. I got to go pack. We're flying to Austin for the Flock League. Next time we stream, Badaki and I will be together in Austin, Texas, and we will be doing, we'll be raffling off the spot for the Austin League. So I'll see you guys then. Enjoy the rest of your day. And yeah, nothing but love. See ya.